It's like when a child really, really, really wants to give mummy a loving present. You know? Not because the school teacher said it, but because he really wants to do it. Right? And very often I'm doing is I have someone in mind that I hope particularly, and you may prefer this one to that one or that one. To me that's immaterial. The energy will be the same, but there may be a resonance of this one with your need, which is more than that one or someone else's. That's all. I started with a pencil. Initially. Oh, that was 20, 30 years ago, whatever. Right. But you see, the difference between colour and black and white is very interesting, because you see, one way of looking at it is white doesn't have a colour. White has surrendered all of its colour. Black still has all its colour inside. It hasn't released any. Right? In Australia, only an idiot ever drives a black car, because the heat, the black just takes everything, the white reflects it. Well, it's the same thing. So if I reverse this, it wouldn't work, because one little bit of black, like the yang of one bit of black, can balance a great deal of white. I've got onesies big with just this much black in just the right place, which will balance it. Black is much more powerful. So then there's two schools of thought about black and white versus colour. Orson Welles said, anyone who likes colour is a child. Someone else said, in terms of photography, if they'd invented colour film first, who would have bothered to make black and white film? Now, there's two completely different points of view. As I see it, black and white is for movement, and colour is for feeling. You can get much more. See, you may have some system. I don't have a system where I can be as free with colour, unless I do Jackson Pollock type paintings, which is a whole other story. That's another night. That's another story. But with a brush, you can't do it. With your finger, you can't do it. You can't get the free flow that you get. Black and white is movement. Colour is feeling. I was just doing some colour just before I left just now. It's different. It's a feeling. Very, very different roles. Very different roles. So what I tried to do a lot of them is combine the two. So you do some black and white and some colour. So you get the feeling, and also the other thing is, as you can see, is I don't fill all the space. Very often you see the artist is really working hard to try to, what's he going to put here? What's he going to put here? And as soon as I can leave it, I don't have to fill everything. Life becomes a lot easier, and you can be far more intuitive with what you're doing. But I remember this. I remember this one because I remember, although it's quite big, I had no idea. As most of them, I have no idea at all what they will be like. I meditate first, and then, as it were, one brush or other calls me, and then after that, I don't know what's going to happen, except at the very end, it just takes over and does its own thing. So it's all meditative. So that's what we call it. It's not that you meditate and then paint, is that the painting is itself a meditation. So it is itself an active meditation. But you need the passive meditation first, and then the active meditation in the process of actually doing it. And then what size board I will use next is also determined. A board, I have all the size of boards. Erica's cutting boards all the time, and we just pick whichever one I get directed to pick. It calls me, and so I use that one. So it's just allowing these forces inside us that want to come out, that want to do some good in the world, just to come out and do it. So, yeah.
Do you ever use music while you're
Oh yeah.
painting
Oh
as well?
no, I don't put music on. No, but because that would put me, I'd then be in two minds, because I've then got Beethoven, and I've got, Furtwängler, and I've got the paper, and I've got all these things going on. So I don't want to get stuck into that. But no, I have music inside my head. Most of the time I'm doing it, and quite often I'm singing. I usually wake up singing some song. Who wakes up singing music, with music in their head? Oh, not the musicians. Interesting, right? So you wake up. So then I start painting with whatever that song's been given to me. I woke up this morning with all I want is a room with a view, which is what Jennifer was. Who was it? Sue was singing, from The Boyfriend. You know The Boyfriend? All I want is a bum bum. So just doing this morning was just how's that going? It's a common question, actually. Yeah. But I mean, if you put on a record, you're then stuck with its movement. But if you sing it inside your head, you make its movement the same as the painting movement. It goes together. Well, the essence of the Chinese, of the early Chinese painting, was that they said it was empty and full. So, but what they used to do is they'd say it was empty, was full, but then they'd fill the painting. And so they wouldn't just have a mountain, they'd always have to have clouds or sky or something. So although they talked a lot about empty and full, they tended to be pretty full. Now, if you take this bit here on its own, that's yin. That's 100% yin. You understand what I'm saying? But so if you take that, that's like 100% yang energy. So what happens? The brush is 100% yin. I pick up the brush with my yang energy, and now the brush has been yangified, right? Then you approach the paper, and the paper is all yin. You go, take me, I'm yours. Take me, right? And so, and then you put just enough yang to balance the yin which is there, because yin is always softer and in a sense more expansive. Therefore, you always need more, in area, more yin than yang. So a little bit of yang can balance a whole lot of yin. But it's always having those two in balance. Not just, it's a funny thing, not just when you finish, but almost as you're going through it, it's constantly changing in terms of that. But so you always have so this would be empty, this would be full, but you've got to get the empty and full, the yin and the yang just balanced. I was just reading the other day. I was what do you call a brush? What's the gender of a brush? Now I can't say it for a woman, but to me, a brush is female, right? And so when I pick it up, we are dancing. I'm leading. I'm being led, but I am leading the brush, which is, as a sense, then leading the paper. But it's all just a series of yin, yang, all the way through. Where's Heather?
Heather?
I had a thought about you this morning, Heather. Heather's equestrian. She's, and so I thought, I did a lot of painting today with this same brush, who was really sort of, I thought, this brush is tired. It's done enough work. So here I am washing the hardest damn thing about is washing these brushes, particularly if you have a septic tank, because you wonder what you're doing to the microbes in the septic tank, you see. So here I was washing this brush. I said, good little brush. I said, it's just like when you rub down a horse after a good ride,